NNPC?
Except we want to, hide our head, bury our head like an ostrich. It's all over the place. People have complained that the truth is that even if there is no corruption in NNPC, the fact remains that the activity has been treated in secrecy. There has been a lot of opaqueness in the way the thing is managed. So, it is not just enough to say that there is transparency in this organization. It is not enough to say that there is accountability in this organization. It must be seen to be there. So accountability and transparency must be seen to exist in NNPC. So I won't sit down here to say that they are corrupt. But whatever transparency they are said they are doing there, whatever accountability they are said to be doing there, people must be seen. It must be manifestly seen that there is accountability, there is a lack of federal government that has done in essence is to ensure that yes, an individual or an organization should not just be the one to say this is how much food that we have sold, this is how much we have received. So in all of this, you now have at least 2 organizations that are involved. So for me, in a way, it will also ensure that we have more transparency, less corruption in total that we used to have in the organization.
We also talked about foreign currencies, also the forex also coming to this country, and if also recall or take into notice that what we produce on daily basis just 1.3 million barrels per day of crude oil, and also majority of them has also gone into what we also call collateral. You think that we still have enough dollars coming through the crude oil? Okay,
of course we will have it. Like you said, of course it's unfortunate, but at the point in time, there was this even the crude that we have not produced. Government took nothing is coming. We still have something that is coming. And even though when the issue of collaterals is being done, there is also a benchmark, which it is possible for the present price of crude oil to have exceeded that benchmark that we agreed, that the country agreed with those foreign organizations. So something will still be coming, and the implication is that it now means that we have to properly manage whatever that is coming. So it does not mean that nothing is coming again from the crude. Yes, certain percentage has been collateralized in form of the loan that has been taken in the past, but the remaining that is coming now, probably that is what is even bringing sense into our head to now properly manage whatever loan that has been collateralized with our crude. But at the end of the day too, even when we don't even have loan, we are not responsible to pay a payment of any loan. It is still very much in order to ensure that we properly manage our resources.
The CBN government was also trying to say here is that, let me quote him now, that the reform is designed to streamline and unify multiple exchange rates, fostering transparency and reducing opportunity for arbitrage. So what does that mean?
It means in essence is that if you don't have enough inflow of dollar compared to what people are demanding for, then it means that the volatility in the forex will continue to be what it is now. Like we all know, we can see the upward swing in the value of dollar against naira, and the reason is just simple. It's because that people that are demanding for more dollar are more. People are on daily basis because of probably the transaction they want to go and do abroad. So the demand for dollar is increasing daily, and it's just an elementary law of economics. That if the demand is going up, managing our oil proceeds or whatever is revenue that is coming abroad, then we will have enough dollar that will help us to show up the value of our naira. So that is what, like I said earlier on, that even the policy of asking the CBN to now manage the receipt from their crude oil is in a way to ensure that we have enough inflow of forex so as to be able to stabilize the value of the naira. So what he said is in order. Don't forget that lately we discovered that the CBN is even ordering some of these many commercial banks in Nigeria that those excess dollar that they have, they should sell it while keeping the dollar in your vault, and then you allow the value of naira to be going down. So it's just one of the ways to also ensure that.
Well, let's hide that the value has not gone up. When you check what happened at the weekend, the dollar was sold for 1,400 naira.
Okay, you see, the truth is that the economy does not just respond to a command. There are fundamentals that have to be in place. You don't order the economy and then you expect that it will obey the command. No, of course the federal government has said this is what we want to do. There are basic things that have to be put in place. There are fundamental things that have to be in place. Number one, those commercial banks, is it true that they have excess dollar? If they have excess dollar, then people there, because don't forget that the major problem of economics is human behavior. That is why economists is so there are so many other issues. There are multi-pronged approach that government has to put in place to ensure that we have this. But the truth is that the government will have to respond one way or the other, because you cannot say that if we have a challenge, government cannot just keep looking. So what they have done for me is to ensure that yes, the inflow of dollar that is coming to Nigeria is better managed, so that we have enough quantity of dollar to respond for the demand for dollar by our people. So it's just one of the approach.
He has also said that the decision of the direct
funds to their country because of this paucity of dollar in the economy. So these are but if we are able to stabilize that sector, then we can be rest assured that investors on their own they will come, because that is what will attract them. But if they know that if I'm bringing my resources to a particular economy, at the end of the day I want to leave that economy and I don't have opportunity to repatriate my fund, then I would rather stay where I am.
But the presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku Abubakar, also faulted this directive and described it as illegal. How would you react to that?
Well, with due respect to the former vice president, I know that he is not a legal practitioner, and like I said at the beginning of this program, I've had the opportunity of looking at the Central Bank Act 2007. I particularly lay emphasis on Section 2 of the Central Bank Act 2007, which provides some of the objects, the duty of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Let me emphasize one of them, which is to ensure that there is international value for the local currency. So everybody agreed to it. And then the first one is even talking about ensuring monetary and price stability. So we don't have price stability in Nigeria today. Everybody is complaining about inflation. Everybody is complaining about the drop in the value of naira. Then should see them not doing anything about it. So I believe that His Excellency, the former Vice President, being an opposition, so he's actually doing his job. You don't expect opposition in this time to clap for those in government. So they will have to put the government on their toe. But for me, having looked at the objects of this type of a thing before, but it's also a policy. When you have the mandate of people to be in government, you just look at what you can do to help the system, and I believe that's what the president has done.
I think it's not talking about the CBN directly, it's talking about the NNPC, that being an autonomy company, that the government does not have the right to give such directive.
Well, for me, it would be irresponsible act to say that CBN is talking about autonomy of CBN.
No, not CBN. NNPC.
I mean NNPC. Yeah. Now, the truth of the matter is that who appoint the group managing director of NNPC? I think it's the president. I also believe that yes, at a point in time, the company based that has not devolved the federal government of authority to manage that particular agency. For instance, we have a board of NNPC. The chairman is from Ondo State here. Now, who appointed him? Isn't it the federal government? So there is no absolute autonomy. If you also remember the fact that the bulk of the resources of our federal government is just the investment of the federal government on that agency, on NNPC, is on behalf of Nigeria. So the company belongs to Nigeria, and we cannot just say that because they have autonomy that they should run the way they feel. I think the government has a duty to ensure that the organization is properly managed.
Let me read it out now. He said the state-owned enterprises are not subject to such arbitrary orders and have full control over their finances within the confines of their respective establishment laws. And also he went further to say that within the confines of their respective establishment, he's talking about the law that actually established NNPC, that do not have the control. That's exactly what.
Okay, I think if that is the case, I think the right thing to do is to anybody that is interested. If that person does not even have the power to do that, then the right thing to do by anybody that fell agree is to just take it as a public interest litigation, go to the court, federal high court, then put your matter before it, let the court decide. But for me, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that the NNPC, whatever law that we are talking about, cannot be a law unto itself, cannot just be existing on its own without guidance from the federal government. Legal opinion of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation for advice before that policy is done. Like you said, it's a major policy shift, and I believe that we wake up to do that. All the enabling law guiding that particular direction must be taken into consideration before that decision is taken.
So you are also of the opinion that with this directive, we should also look forward to getting a better day. Of
course, that's just the basis. I am very sure that the federal government must not just have taken that decision for the fun of it. There are certain for managing our foreign intake inflow properly, especially from the oil sector. So I believe that it's a welcome development, and the issue of transparency, the issue of accountability. those company when they started leaving Nigeria. Of course, we thought it was a joke, but as it is now, that's why we are now having this challenge. So for us to be able to stabilize the value of naira, we have to be productive in our economy. For instance, if you look at the number of vehicles on our road today, can you imagine the quantity of tires that they will be using? Assuming that those tires are produced in Nigeria, of course our people have job. Look at textile industry that we used to have in the past. Most of them are no longer there. If they are in Nigeria, they will employ our people. Then all of those forests that we now use to import all of those things that we require now will be conserved.